biggest lie that you've been told is that working hard is enough to stay productive after you get home from a long day at school. But we all know that when you take into account your commute to and from school, any extra work you have to do, or basically any other obligations that come up in the day, realistically, you're spending way closer to 10 hours at school. So no matter how hard you might work to stay productive after school, whether you want to build that side project, hang out with your friends, or even just try new hobbies, eventually you get so burnt out and you can't maintain that discipline. You just resort to the same old habits of either scrolling through social media or just watching Netflix. But do you want to know a secret? I was the exact same too. That was until I stopped doing these 5 simple things. And ever since that point, I finally stopped wasting my evenings after school. So in this video, I'm going to tell you the 5 things that you need to stop doing if you want to quit wasting your evenings after school. Now, as always, the timestamps are on screen and they're down below in the description, but that's enough hanging around. Let's get right into the video. To understand the first problem, I want you to imagine that you have to write an essay on your laptop, but there's an issue. Well, actually, there's 2 issues. First off, you go to begin that first sentence, but upon typing, you realize there is a huge problem. It's that your A key has actually fallen off. Not only that, but you get a notification on your laptop that says you only have 10% of charge left. And when you go to plug your laptop in, you realize that your charger has broken and there is no chance you can fix it. Therefore, you have about 25 minutes to finish that complete essay before your laptop runs out of charge. Not only that, you can't actually write any words that have an A in them. Imagine how hard that is. Now, imagine that that essay has a new deadline and you get an extra week to finish it by. And in that time period, you can fix the A key and buy a new charger, making the task about 10 times easier. And this perfectly shows one of the main things you have to quit if you want to stop wasting your evenings after school. And that's because most people are living their lives like they are trying to type an essay with a broken A key and a faulty charger. In other words, you're making your life unnecessarily hard. But there is one quick change you can easily implement from today that is going to change all of this. So in life, we can split up the different things and the different tasks we have to do in a few different buckets. And one of those buckets is called the life maintenance bucket. And essentially into that bucket are all of the tasks that relate to kind of sustaining our position in life. So that is washing up, it's doing the dishes, it's cooking, it's doing your laundry, all of those kind of dull, monotonous tasks that have to be done. And the problem is, so many people make these life maintenance tasks stupidly hard. And one of the quickest ways you can change that is just by batching all of these tasks. That means cooking all of your meals on a Sunday for the week ahead, or even just pairing up with your flatmate and taking turns doing the dishes. So the first thing you need to do if you want to stop wasting all of your evenings after school is to quit making these life maintenance tasks stupidly hard. And instead, you just want to systemize them either by batching or working in groups. Does anybody remember the branding and the advertising about 10 years ago when Apple brought out the iPhone 5Cs? I mean, look how bright and colorful these phones were. And the reason why these phones had this kind of bright, bubbly, kind of new feeling and new image to them was to try and attract a younger audience who could buy the phone at a discounted price compared to the iPhone 5S. And this is a subliminal effect that you might not even realize is happening or going on straight away. So I can guarantee that if you're feeling like your evenings are wasted after school, you're falling into this trap of your human psychology. Because if you come home, open the door into your bedroom, see your bed, obviously your brain is going to make that connection between the coziness of your bed and an inner feeling of being tired, burnt out, and exhausted. But the counter to this is so easy to do. So the second thing you need to quit if you want to stop wasting your evenings after school is quit forgetting this part of your brain's psychology. So you need to go out and find ways to make connections between different places, people, and things that inspire you to be productive and get work done. So for me, I know that whenever I enter a coffee shop, I'm sort of in work mode. I'll take out my laptop and I can get started on an essay. But conversely, I know that when I see my bed, well, that's time for me to go to sleep. Now, the third thing that I quit is going to completely change the way you see your day-to-day life. But before I tell you that, If you're enjoying this video, please leave a like. And if you want to see more type of this content, please subscribe to the channel where we release a new video every single Monday. Kind of similar to what I was just speaking about. You know how at different points in the year, you feel different sorts of emotions. So for me, in the summer, I feel like I've got way more energy. I'm more spirited, I want to be social, I want to go out and I want to do things, I want to see the city. But in the winter, I feel like this energy is a lot lower. I feel like I want to stay in a lot more, I want to do more cooking, I want to spend more time with my family, and I don't have that dying urge to go out and feel busy. Just like physical things have the power to influence the way we feel, so do intangible things like the seasons or days of the week. And it's likely that we'll do different things throughout the year depending on how we're feeling as a result of the seasons. And the same is true on a much smaller level, like in our days. Hear me out. Instead of thinking as your day as one long continuous thing, imagine you split it up into 3. You have the time before you get to school, you have the time during school, and then you have that time in the evening. So for me, this is how my 3 separate days look. In the first part, I go to the gym, I'm very energized, I wake up, I feel very productive, I sort of make my breakfast. That's a busy part of my day. Then when I'm at school, I'm a little bit more social, but I'm kind of locked in and focused on those activities. And I'm not really thinking about anything else other than just getting the work that I need to do done. And then after school is a time much more reserved for me. So whereas before in the day, I was a lot more social, like whilst I was at school, this is a time where I want to see my family, like work by myself on this YouTube channel, or even just read a quiet book. So as you can see, there's 3 distinct periods of my day. So the third thing I stopped was treating my evenings as the same day. And instead, I split my day up into 3 specific parts. But does anybody ever notice that no matter how long in advance you have to do an essay, often we just leave it until the very last minute it needs to be turned in? And this is because the closer the deadline approaches, the stronger the incentive we feel to do that thing. And this explains a key principle with the way our brain works in terms of getting motivation. And that's we need incentives to get things done. And if you're forgetting how important this is, that will start to explain why you're struggling so much to get things done, like working on your side business, or even committing to exercise or whatever else you might be passionate about. And the solution to all of this is just to make those incentives I was talking about much stronger, much earlier. But how do we actually do this? Now, one of the things I'll do is listen to some podcasts or watch some clips of YouTubers who are way ahead of me in terms of subscribers and views. And that encourages me to keep going with this journey. Now, the second thing I'll do as well is if I'm feeling a little bit down and uninspired, I'll just look at flights and destinations that I want to visit anywhere in the world. Because this way, I'm creating those incentives for myself by putting reminders of where I want to be in a few years or looking at people a few steps ahead of me. So the fourth thing that I quit, which since doing so has allowed me to stop wasting all of my evenings after school, was that I quit thinking that I could find motivation naturally without using some of these methods I spoke about. Now, the final thing is something I'm sure that you can all relate to. I mean, have you ever tried to work when you're tired? I mean, really, really tired. Maybe you've tried all of the other productivity advice you've seen on the internet. Heck, maybe you've even tried all of the other 4 methods in this video, but nothing seems to work. But you push through anyways, but can't help but feel that you've wasted so much time because the work that you've done and the things that you've done don't feel like they're at the same kind of quality standard that you're used to. Some days, you just need to watch Netflix, scroll through Instagram, go for a run, or just do nothing. And every now and then, these self-care days are just as important as any other productivity tip you can follow because it resets your motivation, it resets your discipline, and keeps you focused so that all of your hard work and your effort is actually sustainable for the long term. So the final thing that I did that has allowed me to stop wasting my evenings after school is I quit thinking that self-care wasn't an important productivity tip. But unfortunately, the reality of this situation is that none of these methods will actually be effective unless you reduce your screen time. And there's a really easy way to set your iPhone up in a way that makes it as productive as possible. And to find out how to do that, you're going to want to watch this video here. So I'll see you over there.